What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. Today got something a little bit different for you, something a little bit interesting, at least in my humble opinion. Now what you're looking at is DCS World with the Flaming Cliffs module installed. I've had this for a while, decided recently to try and get into it. Hit up some online servers, did pretty well for my first flight out, but I was like, you know what I could really do with is some head tracking. Then I remembered, then it hit me that a while ago I was fiddling around with building myself a DIY Oculus Rift, if you will, which uses a nifty piece of software called TrinusVR. And I was like, well, maybe I should revisit that, because I know they recently made some big improvements to the program, improved the quality of the video, because basically what the app does is it streams video from your computer to your cell phone screen, either via Wi-Fi or USB tethering, and then it uses the gyroscope in your phone to do head tracking. And as I said, they recently did a pretty big improvement, especially to the visual quality of the picture that it streams to your phone. So I decided to give this a try and set it up. However, if you are familiar with a game like DCS World, you will know that there is a huge amount of keyboard controls and that sort of thing to control all the different aspects of your plane. However, there is a way around this. I also have a program called Voice Attack, which is a voice command program. So the other day I spent a little bit of time setting everything up to work with DCS World. And that's basically what this video is about. Just me showing off my little virtual reality setup, as well as the way that I get around not being able to see my keyboard. Now, right now I've got the phone on my forehead, the head-mounted display unit on my forehead. So I think it's probably about time that we put it on properly, and I'll start to show you some of the things that my Voice Attack profile can do. So give me a second. I'm just going to put this down onto my actual head properly and reset the head tracking. So as you can see, you can look all the way around. It's very cool. Nothing terribly new here, but I still think it is quite nifty. Now, unfortunately, because the software on the phone does use your gyroscope, there is sometimes a little bit of drift, so you'll need to have a button ready so you can constantly reset it. But anyways, let's have a look at Voice Attack. Now, before we get started, we are going to need to close the cockpit and, well, there we go. Normally you need to sort of pause, but it managed to pick up the command just from that sentence. So, other than that, we are going to need to start systems. Oh, look at that. Everything comes on. Now, once that is done, we've obviously got to get the engines going. Now, let's see if this works. It is sometimes a bit finicky. Zoom in. There we go. So those are my engine displays, engine dials. So let's go left engine. Left engine. Oh, there we go. Sometimes, voice control isn't perfect, so sometimes you do have to give the command twice. But actually, during my testing, and that's just adjusting the VR headset, it's actually generally been quite good. Okay, so now that one's going. Now we will go right engine. And that should hopefully start spooling up now. There we go. And once we get airborne, I'll show you some of the other things that zoom out, that my Voice Attack profile can do. Now, this piece of software is very, very clever in the way it does things, so you can set up some pretty advanced stuff if you really, really want to. but I must say this is pretty cool. Zoom in. Okay, and both engines are now ready. Zoom out. Now I do have a little scrolly wheel on my joystick that I can use to zoom, but it's quite slow, so I have done a voice attack command to do it a little bit quicker. But anyways, let's get going. And this really makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry, you can just keep your hand on your joystick. Don't have to worry about that. Just use your voice to do everything. Now, I'm not too familiar with this airfield, so we're just going to have to see if we find our way to the runway properly. I think we will. Shouldn't be any problems. But now, neither of these pieces of software that I'm using are free. TrinusVR there is a trial version available, so you can see that it works. Wheel brake. And the trial version allows you to use the app for 10 minutes. No limit to how many times you can do it, but once the 10 minutes is up, you have to restart the whole process again. Voice attack as well, I think, is $8, so but they're about similar price for each, I think. But I must say this is really cool. The TrinusVR app, you can have proper side-by-side 3D, or you can let the app just split the image and duplicate it for each eye, which is what I'm doing now. You know, it's kind of less resource heavy on your computer, and you get the effect, if not the full, 3D depth and everything that you would with an Oculus Rift. Apparently it thought I told it to reset. So, obviously some of these problems are not going to happen normally, because you won't be talking as much as I am. But let's just bring it to a stop. Wheel brake. Okay. And one more quick look around. See our wingman behind me. Oh, this is really cool, I must say. Okay, so let's get this bird in the air. And I must say, now that I'm getting the hang of the basic controls for this simulator, I'm really starting to enjoy it. So pull back gently. Okay, and we are airborne, so gear. Did that do it? No. Gear. And there we go. And as you can see, you just have to reset again. This is, as I said, a slight problem because of the gyroscope. It does drift a bit and lose your position. There is, however, a fix. The app also allows you to hook up a webcam and put a symbol on the front of your head-mounted display unit, and it will track that symbol as well. So I might give that a bit of a try. But we no longer need to be on afterburners, so we'll throttle back a bit. And then just go over some of the other things that this voice attack profile can do. Radar. And there we go, we've switched our radar on. Zoom in. Okay, now as you can see, we are scanning at 20 miles, so we can go radar increase. Radar increase. There we go, we're at 40 now, and we can obviously bring it back. We can also change, we're now in navigation mode on our, for our systems, which is obviously good for figuring out where you need to go, but not so good for shooting things down. So, BVR. And now we are in beyond visual range. radar mode, we can then also go to, let me see if I remember my voice commands correctly. Bore sight. There we go, we're in bore sight mode. Vertical scan. There we go, vertical scan mode. And then if we get up close and personal with the enemy, we can go visual mode. And there we go. Change weapon. And we can also cycle through our weapons like that. So this is pretty cool, I think, at least. And you know, the quality is good enough and the frame rate is good enough that I can actually read a lot of this without needing to zoom in to the levels I have now. And the latency in that is quite good. And we can also switch to guns. There we go. So we can now zoom out. So we can look around, keep an eye on everything, and just every now and then just have to hit that reset. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do? It's not perfect, but it's good enough until the real Rift comes out. But I mean, I think even once the Rift comes out, I mean, to use it in a game like this, you've got so many commands. You can't have them all on your joystick. So you're gonna, I think voice attack and programs like it are going to become a bit more important once virtual reality really kicks off. Just trying to see if I can spot my wingmen. One of the reasons why I originally wanted to do this sort of thing was because I wanted to use my joystick in War Thunder, the simulator battles, and I wanted something that I could use for head tracking. And I think I must maybe try that out, because when I initially tried, the image quality on my phone wasn't good enough from the program to see enemy planes while they were just dots in the distance. I'm still not sure it's quite there yet, judging by the fact that I have no clue where my wingmen are. Also, my phone screen is a bit dirty, so that might, you see a dot and it's on my phone, but maybe I should try that out again. And we can also turn on our ECM jammer. ECM. ECM. There we go. So again, sometimes you do need to tell it more than once, but generally I've found while just messing around by myself, that hasn't been too much of an issue. So, obviously, by putting in this kind of effort, the thought of virtual reality is really quite appealing to me, and I'm really looking forward to the likes of the Oculus Rift. Just wish it would come sooner. I mean, even without proper 3D and all that stuff, this is still quite incredible. I mean, you can use tri-def and all sorts of other things to get the 3D. Zoom in. SAM site. Wasn't quite expecting that. Zoom out. But anyways, doesn't listen all the time. But you see, now I gotta sit and scroll and scroll and scroll. But it's still really cool. And even though it does have problems, it's still quite an experience, and it's kind of worth putting up with it, at least in my opinion. Where are my bloody wingmen? I wonder if you guys will be able to see them in the YouTube video. TrinusVR can also emulate a lot like Track IR. Well, this video just got interesting. Radar. I don't know what that is, but anyway, let me Getting spiked from all over the place. Alright, let's do something exciting. Let's go down into the valley and do some low-level flying, which is always good fun. But anyways, I think that's probably about it for this video. I've kind of shown off what I wanted to show off. Said what I want to say. So yeah, if you are interested in this sort of stuff, please feel free to check the video description down below, where I will hopefully have remembered to include the links for specifically TrinusVR, because it's a little bit difficult to find. I suppose Google will always help you, but who's going to say no to a link? But yeah, that is about it from me today. Thank you very much for stopping by, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below, and maybe consider subscribing for more content, mostly World of Warships and War Thunder. But yeah, as I said, that is it from me for today. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Eject.